get a 30. Listen, they said they get a 30-second intro. Oh, nope, never mind. We don't get that. Well,
We don't need none of that.
welcome to another episode of North Carolina at the Voice of College Football Live. We are your hosts with the most. I am Myron McCray, the captain of the Hooligan Express, and that right over there. Wait, over here? Yeah. That over there
I'm on this.
is
I'm on that side. I'm on the side.
is the other shenanigan hooligan in this place. Give him your name. Give him your name, bro. How you living?
It's your boy, the Shenanigoon, coming at you again. Your boy Joel Rice, aka Rice Back 26. He wasn't expecting that Shenanigoon thing. He wasn't ready for it, but that's all right. We here with you, back again for another Tuesday, another North Carolina Live, bringing you your Tar Heel news in the best way we can.
Always, yeah. One of the new sound bites because last week somebody was complaining about the sound bites I had in here and whatnot. But go ahead, please follow. You as you see with the pen, he's doing ever so slowly. Like you know what you look like right now? You look like a showgirl off of Wheel of Fortune. Like just go up. Ooh. When they go up and tap the letter.
Right. with the handle on it, right.
Or on like Deal or No Deal when they just have the box the whole show to just
ooh, box of mystery. but that's neither here nor there.
We Welcome got a lot on this docket, bro.
Oh, there's a lot going on. There's been a whole lot going on. Transfer portal stuff, new commits.
Bro,
like
I'm telling you right now, in the span of 1 week, UNC football, I feel like has gone up, down, left, right, in every direction in terms of recruits. And not only that, just the transfer portal in of itself.
Transfer portal
is the wild west.
Been crazy.
It's the wild west.
Because let's see here. Because we got Ryan Brown transferred out. DeAndre Boykins transferred out. Christian Hamilton transferred out. Amari Campbell entered the portal. Bo Atkinson entered the portal. Zion Ferguson entered the portal.
The Laws boys
gone. Zach Rice is in the portal.
But coming in though, you got Gio Lopez from South Alabama.
Potential QB1.
Dayton Sneed, the wide receiver from Tennessee. Benjamin Hall, who's a freshman running back from Michigan. And then Makai.
Get some more running back competition, which I'm with it.
And then Makai, I'm gonna say Bayer. I want to say the G is silent. I want to say it is Gbayor. Somebody, please. He's from Nebraska. Somebody go get it for me. Get it for your
It's
boy.
either Makai Jabair, Makai Gayer, or Makai Bayer. One or two. I feel like there's Gabair or Jabair in there. I feel like the G ain't silent.
I don't think there's a GB silent. It might be Bayer. I think the G is silent.
It might be Bayer.
I want to say it's Bayer, but the G is silent. But then you also got Reese Verhoff, who is a kicker out of Marshall, Jacob Horvath, a punter out of Eastern Illinois, and Adrian Wilson.
I've heard Horvath's name before.
And Adrian Wilson, a wide receiver out of Colorado. Dion, we took a receiver from you? Dion, we got a receiver from you?
I don't think you had to look at us like that. That's just I'm gonna need you to back up like 5'2", about 2 inches. You need to back up by 5 inches. That's that reflection.
Just because you don't
out here looking like an anime villain.
Just because you don't like my face.
Oh,
doesn't mean the people don't like my face. I hope y'all like my face. I ain't got no face.
What's going on, Steve? What's going on? Looks like we stealing both. Man, I hate to see it.
Y'all stealing both? Oh, bro, that's dirty. Steve, you put that hit out, didn't you? You put that hit out. You had to.
I feel like Steve put in a bunch of like newsletters to the to the athletic directly. He sent email after email after email.
Steve
he
said,
saw it coming.
Oh, now.
He was here last week. He saw us make the announcement. He's like, "Yeah, nah, I got to make sure I send these angry emails. Make sure we get who we want."
Not even that. He said, "Listen, Bo, they don't love you like we will. You can come over here. It's okay. We're gonna treat you right. I know you did it. I know you did it."
That's what it is. Like she said, you know that dude from North Carolina, you would go get him. That's exactly what he said. And in all the chaos itself, what kicked off all of the transfer portal nonsense is these are Amali Abba brothers. Because one,
you say that's who kicked it off. You say that's who
kicked off
kicked it
all
off.
this nonsense. Kicked off all this nonsense. Because check this out. Because normally, as far as my knowledge goes, the spring portal doesn't really have a whole lot of oomph to it most times out of not. Like, yeah, you got spring transfers, yeah, but you're not hearing about spring transfers like we're hearing about spring transfers now. If it wasn't for Nico pulling that mess in Tennessee, which here's something funny about that, right? So, Nico Maliava goes to UCLA. Yeah. UCLA coaches let their quarterback room know, like, hey, Nico's coming in. Just want to go ahead and give y'all the heads up. So Joey Aguilar, UCLA quarterback, decided, you know what? Deuces, I'm out of here. I'm not going to stay here for this nonsense. So guess
what? He's going to Tennessee. He's going to Tennessee. I heard about that. Like, I saw that.
First ever, to people's knowledge, college football trade.
Hey, we're doing trades now. 1-for-1s, 1v1s now. You can do 1v1s.
And let's not forget. Let's not forget. Nico also is dragging his brother into this. So now Madden Imaliava is going to UCLA.
I feel like you real salty about this. I feel like you are mad with the Imaliava boys right now. And I get it. I get it.
And it's just Nico. I'm not mad with both of them. Because here's my thing.
You sure? Because didn't Madden commit to Arkansas State?
He didn't commit to Arkansas State. He committed to Arkansas. He chose Arkansas over UCLA initially. So when he first came in, he was going to UCLA, chose Arkansas over UCLA. Now that his brother's at UCLA, now I have an interest in going to UCLA. And I'm like, no, you don't. You really don't. Unless you're doing this to beat out your brother to try to prove a point.
I mean, or he just wants to basically ensure himself as a starting spot after his brother in a way, because it's like, oh, Big Bro was great. I know it's going to be easy for me because I'm going to just be filling in once Big Bro leaves. Now, I'm not saying what they're doing is right. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's like, okay, Big Bro paves the way. And, usually when it comes to athletics, the younger sibling is better than the older sibling because they had the older sibling kind of to compare themselves to and to match themselves to. So in my mind, it's like if Madden, like you said, if Madden can outdo Nico and Nico does great, it makes Madden look better. Because it's kind of the whole premise of, oh, if this is your brother, you're definitely going to be great. Because think about it. That's how people were with Eli in comparison to Peyton. And even when it's not your brother, but a relative, that's how a lot of people are with Arch Manning. It's like your uncles are Peyton and Eli, and your dad was the better Manning according to them. So you should be balling. So I think it's funny how much of this chaos has been going on in the transfer portal. And I think it's kind of wild personally, because I'm sitting here like, damn, bro, half the teams I've seen or half the players I've seen, even for us, for example, Mekhi Bear, right? He was at Nebraska, then apparently committed to another school in December, then changed and committed to us at UNC. And I've seen that happening a lot where even Brown left Purdue, came here, and then is going back to Purdue.
And tell you the truth, it's just like, what's the other transfer that came in that actually signed with us and then went to Texas?
The D lineman.
Yeah, I can't remember his name right now. But yeah, he was actively signed. And then there was also talk of Jaden Rashada, the quarterback from Georgia, was supposed to be visiting tomorrow.
He was supposed
but now he's no longer visiting. So I guess now that's changed his mind. It's not happening anymore. So the transfer portal itself is real wild. And then if I remember right, just got word that just a couple of days ago, Georgia had a couple new guys come in. The linebacker from Army, running back came in, and I
It
think they
was
got a
Levon
receiver that
Johnson.
just came in.
It was Levon
Yeah,
Johnson.
Levon
That's who it
Johnson.
is. The
So
Maryland
you
D
got
lineman.
so once again, like the transfer portal has been wild, and I went ahead and did like a quick look into you know Madden and Maliava's yeah Maliava,
You
and let's see
you
here.
you just you don't seem like you a fan of the boy.
I'm not a
And
fan of
I
either one of them at this point.
and I think
And
it's more so
I
just
like
because of the way they move in the portal right now. Is that it?
I don't
Is that
yeah,
really it?
I'm not a major fan of either one of them right now. One, I'm not a fan of I liked Nico last year. I liked Nico last year. I liked what I saw. I liked what he was going to. I liked where I think his trajectory was going. But then
When they said he might have came here, I was like, mm,
it was and I can almost guarantee you Bill would have turned his whole career around. It would have been he would have been a whole different person coming out of North Carolina had he come here. But the problem is the way you conducted yourself and the way
that was not what
and
I'm trying to
and
say.
like I said before, Cam Newton said it best. The way you were advised during this whole situation doesn't give you a very good light to a lot of people because one, you got your pops out here causing a whole bunch of extra nonsense and a whole bunch of extra drama for you because he wants you to get an extra $2 mil. Now, because he did that and started trying to get all these backdoor deals for you, and Tennessee wasn't having it. Now you lost almost a full $2 million going to UCLA.
Yeah, I
Where
mean,
you at the end of the day would have made if you would have stayed where you were and did and been patient and did what you were supposed to do, you would have came out of Tennessee $8 million richer net wise. Then even if, like we spoke on before, had you even just went out and produced another set of good stats this season, you could have negotiated a higher piece in the NIL the following season, as long as you made it back to the playoffs, which I feel like you definitely had a good chance of doing, especially now that Georgia has a rocky quarterback situation and an even rockier wide receiver situation. You got Alabama, who doesn't know who their starting quarterback is, or if he's even going to be worth having.
so I have this
Florida,
question.
Florida's still going to be Florida, so we're going to hope that if they're still on that same upwards trajectory that they were on by the end of last season, are they going to be able to maintain that? You don't know. LSU probably has one of the most set situations in the SEC right now compared to anybody else because you still have your quarterback, you still have your running back situation, you still have a good set of receivers minus Kyron Lacy because one, he was going to the draft, and unfortunately we'll talk about his situation later. But it's like you mishandled this terribly. And it's not, and I'm not going to say it's entirely his fault, but this whole situation was a fumbled bag. And now you about to drag your brother into this, who honestly I think is coming out pretty clean comparatively because you don't have to do much. All you have to do is go and back up your brother like you did your sophomore year in high school. But why would you want to do that when Arkansas's quarterback situation was up in the air? You possibly could have been a starter after this season. Why hurt yourself in this situation? Why
I mean,
decide to purposely go and sit behind somebody that you knew you sat behind before that potentially you could be better than?
I can see that. But here's my question, and more so, I want to tie it to UNC specifically because I think the biggest thing for me with everything that's going on, and honestly, I just want to know it from the UNC standpoint. Why do you think it's been this crazy, particularly for UNC? Why is this past week we've seen numerous stars in our organization just say, all right, bet we hitting the portal, we gone. Like, it's like from the practice like a pro, the last spring practice to today, a lot of our stars, Amari Campbell, the Law twins,
Nine players
Brown coming in, like
since 2
all of
weeks ago.
them just up and dip. It is weird. To me, that's the weirdest part because all I've been hearing and all I've been seeing, and I get it, Bill has kept a lot of stuff very close knit. I understand that because you're building the program. But I'm sitting here thinking to myself, what has gone down, what has been said, or what is being done to make you lose? Like, okay, Brown wasn't a returner. he wasn't a starter here last year, so okay, comes in, goes out, whatever. I guess he just wanted to see what it was like elsewhere, and then found out the grass wasn't always greener. Blase, blase, blase. The Law Boys, Amari Campbell, those are continuity pieces. Those are pieces that can help bridge this gap from Mac Brown to you.
Those are building block pieces.
And they just up and left. They just up and say, all right, Brett, cool. There was no indication that they would have entered the transfer portal. Granted, I don't think anybody is out there openly making as big of a scene as Nico and Maliava, because these kids know how to move in silence like lasagna, which I respect. But it just feels weird because they all did it almost at the same damn time.
Right. And my thing is, and like my opinion on the whole situation is it's a mixture of some guys, I'll say, well, like Ryan Brown might have saw the writing on the wall, because Ryan Brown seems like it figured out it's a better situation for him to go back to Purdue, because there's a better chance of him being the starting quarterback at Purdue than it is here. Then with the other guys, I think those are a mixture of culture change, because they probably came in buying into a particular kind of culture. Now that culture is not there, so now they're going somewhere else to try to find something similar, because you're not going to get that with Bill. You're not going to get the same Mac Brown kind of atmosphere out of Bill, where you can find another quarterback or another coach or another staff that may give you a better feel. Because I feel like that's what happened with Bo Atkinson. I feel like that's probably what happened with Amari Campbell. Because defensively, if you want a coach that's going to build you defensively, then yeah, like Bill Belichick is where you want to be at.
That's the thing. And as you say that, you're like, okay, you're not getting the same atmosphere as Mac Brown and Bill Belichick. When I look at them, I honestly picture them being from the same cloth. I picture them being the same style of a coach. I picture them being as very similar, and you're going to get a similar atmosphere now. Granted, Bill's probably a lot more no nonsense than Mac Brown was. That could be it. Like, you might not like how strict Bill is being as compared to Mac Brown. Would have been like, man, he let us seniors and us juniors a little bit loose, whereas Bill's trying to hold us tight and tight-knit in every aspect of the game, treating us like we freshmen again. Mm-hmm. And I think that might be the deal, because Bill's trying to establish order and discipline and everything in a culture, but he's also trying to prepare you to be like his thing said, to practice like a pro, because he wants you to be able to get to that next level and conduct yourself like a pro. That way, it ain't even no shocker when you get there and you're sitting there like, all right, we got meetings, we got OTAs, we got this going on, and I just got to fill my time with my personal trainer for X, Y, and Z. So I think that's what happened.
But now that also leads into another question that I actually came across not too long ago. Is Bill and the organization being too frugal when it comes to the transfer portal, or are they just being conscious with how they spend their money in the transfer portal? Because clearly, because what has already been shown is they have money. They have a good bit of money that they could spend on these players, but it's like, are they being too tight with their money and not bringing the talent that they know they can get in because they don't want to spend the money? Or is it like, okay, yeah, I know we do have the funds, but why not be, since it's our first year in, let's not go spending all willy-nilly on trying to make an impact, but when we can instead use that money, roll this money over, and focus on the upcoming guys and trying to keep guys here.
Okay, so the way I'm going to answer that is, I don't think it's either, in the sense of, I don't think they're being too frugal, but I also don't think they're being cautious. I think their approach is, we're not going to try and spend money and just buy a player to come in here and win immediately. If you're coming here because you know what we got going on. Now, granted, in the new NIL era, you're going to have to go out and buy players every now and again. That's just the nature of the game. That's the way it's going to be. But I think the deal is going to be that when you come here, you are, excuse me, you are probably not going to get as big of an NIL deal as you would going somewhere else because that's not Bill's nature. Bill is like, yeah, you're going to get your little check, but we come here to work. We come here to grind. If you're coming here trying to get the most money, you're not getting it here. Now, you're not going to leave here with nothing because we're obviously in a new landscape and can't do that, or else we're going to end up with nobody. But you're not going to get the deep bag that you're expecting. For example, Nico. Nico wasn't going to get a $4 million deal coming to North Carolina. Bill was not doing that.
Not after one starting season, no.
Yeah, Bill was not doing that. Bill maybe would have matched what Tennessee gave him. But he probably would have to take a little check because he's like, listen, Nico, you're going to lose some money, but what I'm going to give you in the knowledge and the preparation and the work and the ethic to get to the next level is what's going to get you paid. You want to get paid now. I'm trying to get you paid the real money where it ain't just $2 million deals. I'm trying to get you both. I'm trying to get you 40 mil, 35 mil, 50 mil, fully guaranteed type joints. That's what I think Bill's going to be on. So I would say North Carolina, they ain't being too frugal, but they aren't being cautious. They're more so setting the foundation of like, yeah, you can get a little NIL deal here, but you ain't going to get the most money here. We in the middle of the road. We're going to pay you a little bit. We're going to pay you your dues, but we also want people who want to be here, who want to work, and who know what it takes to be a part of this program. If you ain't with it, then by golly, you're gone. Point blank.
And to talk on that point is, I think with that, I don't think it's more like Bill's not willing to spend the money. I think it's more like Bill isn't the one that's focusing on the money. Bill's like, no, we got somebody else that handles all this NIL stuff. Like, I'm not about to deal with all this. I'm here to make football players, and I'm here to make professional athletes. There's a whole nother group of people that's handling all the NIL negotiations. I'm not a part of that. If you want to talk to somebody about NIL and negotiations, you can talk to them. But if you want to talk about wanting to be a part of the team, then you can come talk to me. Because I think when it comes down to the major situation, it's like you have some of these Power 4 conference teams that are willing to go out and spend $15-20 million in NIL to bring guys in.
UNLV.
Yeah, UNLV for sure. And I think what's going on Bill's end is I think there's a point to be proved. And I think that's what's going on. I think he's trying to prove a point of, I don't need to spend millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to create a good team.
Yo.
to make a playoff worthy team, I don't need to spend millions of dollars. He did this in New England. You didn't have a whole lot of guys who were making big buku bucks outside of maybe Tom Brady or like these are the big major pieces. You got
paid after you left Bill. Matt Castle.
Exactly. You got paid after you left Bill. You had a whole bunch of 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th round guys winning Super Bowl.
Here's the thing: even the coaches get paid after they leave Bill. Josh McDaniels, that man has failed at being a head coach multiple times, but continues to get head coach opportunities. Like, I don't care what anybody says.
But I said that continues to get opportunities.
But when it comes to Bill, I have to say this.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's MVP. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
When it comes to
I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't prepared for that.
I told you. You was talking about my soundbite game. So I had to step it up this week. I'm sick tired of it. Tired of it, man. But speaking of people he's bringing in and bringing to the forefront, new commits are new commits. New class members are new class members. So, where'd it go? I like that banner. We have more new commits in Chapel Hill, and I love it. This week, y'all, we got another commit for the class of 2026, and he goes by the name of Jimmy Fresco Alo Suliafu. There it is. I got it.
There it is.
Suliafu.
I almost had you in a choke.
Hey, bro, I've been practicing his name. I ain't gonna lie to you for like the last few hours because I want to do it right. So it's Jimmy Frisco, Alu Suliafu, and
Big man out of Texas.
3-star defensive tackle for the class of 2026, Jordan High School Samoan corn-fed, bro. Like from what I see, like he's the 9th ranked defensive tackle in Texas, 46th in the country. Hey, his last season in 13 games, the kid had 70 tackles, 15 tackles for loss, and 8 sacks in 13 games.
That's good production.
And here's the bad part: he's a junior. Here's the thing, bro. That's scary. He's going into this senior season because he's a class of 2026, right?
Right. So he's a junior going in this.
Yeah, bro. Going into his senior, he's about to go into his senior season because he's class of 2026. Bro is 6'3", 260 already.
Honestly, that's a pretty prototypical D tackle.
But I'm saying as 17, and you know, sometimes that last year you hit random growth spurt. Now he's a little shorter.
Now I will say this. I'm gonna say it in old head country. He a little light in the ass. But
listen,
bro. Overall, remember this is high school though, because you already know by the time he gets to college, because they'll probably redshirt him. By the time he's done with his redshirt year,
that's what
he'll go from 6'3", 260 to he'll probably end up being about 6'4", 6'5", 323.
I'm gonna be honest. I genuinely think because he's only 17, the kid still gotta grow. I think the kid might top out at 6'6". I think he might top out at 6'6", like 295, 310.
I mean, no, he's gonna hit that 290. He's gonna hit that 290 mark regardless.
Right.
Because like I said, once he gets past that freshman year in college, he's gonna be 290, 300.
Because here's the thing. Wherever school he goes to, as long as he's eating the way he's supposed to, he's gonna get that freshman 15 that's gonna put him at 275 off rip.
Facts. Like he's gonna end up being
he's gonna have conditioning and weight.
The weight
he's gonna be 290 by the end of freshman, everything. And it's crazy.
Diet on it. And like I said, at 17, like I said, I'll give him another 2 inches by the time he's done growing. So he'll probably end up being about 6'5" total weight by the time he probably gets sophomore, junior year in college, probably about 315. Toned up 315. It's gonna be a solid 315 for sure. Because like and they might even put him as like, depending on what the defensive scheme that Bill runs with, he'll probably be a D end. It's not gonna be an edge rusher, but he'll be a D end probably. Because most of those 3-4 situations, they run basically 3 D tackles, and 2 edge rushers.
Off the edge, man, it's gonna be wild. But I just had to look. I was like, sheesh. But as we get ready for this upcoming season, one thing we do got to address, and a lot of you may have already seen the news. We've already seen the headlines. It's low key a sad day. Low key some sad news. But we got to get ready for Lee Corso's last dance, man. I'm not ready.
Man.
I'm not ready. Oh.
Yeah,
for our listeners out there, if you have not heard, Lee Corso, the face of college, one of the faces of college game day football. This man's last appearance on the show will be on August 30th in week 1 in the Texas versus Ohio State game out in Ohio State. Now, I say it's very fitting because it's
going to be a hard pick of a game.
It's going to be a hard pick of a game. 2, he's been on college football game day since 87, since they aired it, right?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't start doing the headgear up until 96. And the first game was an Ohio State game where he picked Ohio State to win. And he put on Brutus the Buckeye for the first game. And that's how that tradition started. So the fact that
We ended how he started.
Yeah, we ended with an Ohio
Ended
State. If he doesn't pick Ohio State in this game, that would be kind of crazy. Like if he doesn't pick Ohio
That'd be
State
hilarious.
just to don their headgear, I would.
I don't see him picking Texas anyway, but nothing against Texas. It's just like
I have a lot
of their big pieces left for the draft. Because think about it, you got pretty much all three of their starting receivers gone.
Yeah,
a good set of their offensive linemen gone. Starting tight end gone.
Yeah,
Their two of their best defensive backs gone. Now they do have a safety that's going to be solid for one more. If he's still there, I haven't paid much attention to it, but he's going to be solid. That man kid was a menace.
He's got to pick Ohio State just to
bring it full circle.
Just to bring it full circle, he's got to feel because think about it. The man's 89 years old. His birthday's August 7th, so he will actually be 90 on this show. Like it'll be just a few weeks after his birthday.
That's crazy. That's so
crazy. It's just kind of wild. But you know what? He's earned this retirement. He's earned it. Like go spend time because he's been married. Because one, I went and did because I was like, I don't know much about his family. I had to go look into it. Him and his wife Betsy Youngblood. Cold name, bro. Betsy Youngblood. Cold is. I'm so glad she never changed her name, bro. That is a cold name to have. I don't care what nobody says. But Betsy Youngblood, they've been married since 1957. They had 4 kids and they got 10 grandkids. And over the last year,
one of them kids was putting in work.
And over the last year, of course, he has been dealing with some health issues. So
yeah.
And
outside the fact that you can tell that he's definitely the age is definitely caught up with him for sure. But yeah, you can tell he was having some stuff going on.
Yeah, for sure. Go spend time with your family, man. It's your last, like not even trying to be morbid or nothing, but you're about to be 90. I'd be lying if I said you got 50 years left in you, bro.
There was a guy I saw on TikTok talking about Lee Corso. It was a dude that does all like the SEC reviews of SEC meetings and stuff on YouTube. Real funny dude. So he was talking about how when he was about 18 years old, they went to a game in Alabama. It wasn't an Alabama game, but they went to it, and Corso was there. It was Kirk Herbstreit and Lee Corso.
Mm-hmm.
And they were trying to basically find ways to get in to speak, like to see Herbstreit and Corso.
Yeah,
and game ends. He sees the guys because they showed up in their Bama shirts or whatever, and he's like Bama boys. He's like, yeah. They're like, yeah. He said, and they said that man sat there and talked with them for, I think he said easily like 45 minutes, easy. Like I couldn't remember the amount of time he said. The man sat there and talked to him forever, basically showing like not only was Lee Corso just a good guy, just a nice guy in general, but the fact that. But his love for college football ran that deep that he was willing to sit there and talk about football all day long after already having 3 to 4 hours of already talking football, almost nonstop. He still had so much of a passion for it that he sat there. They said Kirk actually had to stop him and tell him they needed to go.
Come on, sweetheart, we gotta go. Kirk's like, we gotta go.
Because they said if he didn't, he was gonna miss his bus. Like they was gonna miss his bus to leave. He was gonna be stranded wherever they were.
Listen, first of all, he wasn't gonna be stranded. Let's be real. If Lee Corso comes up to you and asks you for a ride, you do not turn that man down.
Oh, Lee Corso's making it to wherever he gotta go.
You gotta listen.
By caravan, by plane, by horse buggy, wherever. Any college football fan, if they saw Lee Corso hitchhiking on the side of the road, they're taking him wherever it is.
Wherever you go, bro.
I would say I could be on my way to church that day. We're not going to church that day. We're finding out where this man got. I can tell you
right now, and this man will agree with me. Him and I, outside of the birth of his son and whatever I have it in the future, where him and I could have been in the car together. If Lee Corso was like, "Hey, yo, I need a road trip. We are in South Carolina right now, and I need to get to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We are taking a road trip to Pennsylvania that day. I am going to have an angry wife,
but I'm going to.
But we are going. Listen, hey, I will stand there with you. Take whatever yelling
Listen.
she gives to you, bro. I'll stand there 10 toes like it was my idea. I convinced him to do it.
I understand. I understand. I'm gonna be in some trouble. However, I gotta take Lee Corso to Philadelphia. Who? Don't even worry about it.
Don't even worry
Google
about
him. Google him. I gotta go. I'll be back tomorrow, or I'll be back at the end of the weekend. I'll be back Sunday.
It's like, who's with you, Myron? Oh Lord, that's exactly what you would say. That's exactly what you would say. Of course he is.
Of course he is.
Like, of course he is, bro.
But no, like it's a happy day for the fact that a man's getting to retire, doing what he loves. It's a sad day that we won't be seeing Lee Corso on College Game Day anymore.
But
at least in extended capacity, I still feel like they'll hit him up occasionally.
They'll hit him up occasionally, but the fact that we get to see his retirement, he didn't pass in the middle of doing the show. Like, he's gonna get the chance.
Oh yeah.
Like, to speak his last show, give his last speech. We all get to prepare. We get to take the summer to prepare for it. I'm okay. Like, yes, it is the end of my childhood, your childhood, a lot of us who grew up on this man.
I feel like at this point, Florida State needs to put Lee Corso in like the Ring of Honor or something if he's not already in it.
I ain't gonna front.
We need to put his name on the stadium somewhere. Need to put a statue somewhere, something.
I know Herb Street got a lot of time left, but I wouldn't be against it if he retired with Corso.
It just don't fit the same.
It just don't. I would not be against it if he announced, "Hey, I can't do this without Coach, so I'm gonna announce my retirement too, and that will also be my last show."
Not even
and
that.
We're gonna pass over to
Herbie Street will probably end up just switching to NFL football because he does that too.
He does.
He'll probably just retire from college football and just do analytics and the NFL side.
You know what? I get what they can do because he's already doing. Because one, this guy already is on the show half the time, and then this other guy, he does a lot of commercials and whatnot. He would be perfect for it. Desmond Howard, Nick Saban. I'd be okay with that.
I wouldn't be okay with that.
Why wouldn't you?
I wouldn't be okay with that because honestly,
you just don't want to see Nick Saban.
No, not even that. Desmond Howard, I don't believe would get the most out of Nick. You have to put Nick Saban. And as much as Nick would hate it, you have to put Nick Saban with Pat McAfee. You
don't think Desmond Howard could get that out of Nick Saban at all?
No. Have you seen how Nick Saban looks at Pat McAfee? Nick Saban is sick of Pat McAfee. When I tell you, that would be A1 television. A1 television, watching this frat brother of a man sit next to his grandfather all day long,
man.
Analyzing football. Nick Saban would probably bust a blood vessel just out of frustration. Desmond Howard, I'm not trying to kill the man, but Nick Saban, that would just be pure comedy. Just the quips back and forth.
That's the thing.
I think Nick Saban will make some bad.
That's the thing. I feel like Desmond has a good amount of quips. Now, if you're going for the most, yes, I can see what you're going for. Like, if you're trying to go full send, like all I want is comedy nonstop, then yeah, I get what you're saying.
All I want is not comedy. I want entertainment. And that would be pure entertainment. Now,
here's the reason. But you mad at Pat McAfee on WWE? Make that make sense.
Okay, I can't be mad at McAfee doing WWE.
So you want pure entertainment, but when he on WWE, it's a problem.
Because it's not Nick Saban. And on top of that, like, yes, of course Pat McAfee's doing WWE. Like, duh. It makes too much sense. We need something that doesn't make as much sense. The problem is, but like now, if you want professionalism and you want commentary done right, along with analytics done right, with some comment, with some like funny quips and stuff back and forth, yeah, Desmond Howard and Nick Saban would work. Like I said, I think Nick is a little too flat sometimes, but that's just who he's been as a man, as an individual. He's not been like a high energy, bop around kind of guy unless he's on the field. But outside of that, like Desmond's pretty chill, Nick's pretty chill. You'd get some straightforward stuff out of both of them. It'd be kind of like Tom Brady and whoever he's paired up with.
Okay, you on College Game Day to be as comedic or entertaining. I won't say comedic.
Exactly. College Game Day is the more entertaining little brother to the NFL. Like everybody gets sucked into the emotion and the power of College Game Day. You're not really doing that with NFL Sunday Report. You're like, you're waiting till the game to start.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like with College Game Day, you actually watch College Game Day because you want to hear what they want to talk about. You want to see what happens.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Half the reason why I watch College Game Day, one, the signs in the back. Boy, oh boy, the signs in the back be hilarious because they be like the signs on the back. They can be brutal. They can be brutal. They can be just straight up normal. They can be X-rated, and they can be out of pocket. I seen one time, bro was like, "Hey, yo, ma, I crashed a Volvo last night. Send money." I said, "Bro, I hope you didn't.
It's too late. You got it. It's too late. You admit it. But that's the thing, though. That's the thing, though. College Game Day is a culture. It's a whole thing within itself. You may not even watch any games that day, but you'll watch College Game Day.
And then two, I watch to see who picks what for that big game. Exactly. I'll be like, all right, Desmond, you said this. Lee, you said this. Herbstreit, you said this. Who right here? Because I know the next week when they talk about it, I'll be like, oh yeah, all y'all was wrong. You.
Because think about it. Because I can't remember. Because when Tebow first showed up, they were on Tebow for his haircut all the time.
Oh, they were on Tebow's neck.
They were on Tebow's neck. When I tell you, because it's like I said, once like you can get some of that from like NFL Sunday and Monday night stuff. You can get that a little bit. Like you get that from the Peyton and Eli show.
Yeah,
but that's just two brothers talking smack to each other all day. And honestly, that is funny for all of 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it's really just Peyton insulting Eli for over 3 hours. Or vice versa. But like with College Game Day, you have those guys that sit there every day and you can tell like they love being together on this show. They love doing what they do together, and you can't knock that kind of energy. Sure, like I said, once again, NFL guys have that same thing, but the energy is not the same.
College Game Day, if y'all want to pull back up to Chapel Hill, extend the invite right here. We will show up suit in hand, boy. We will show up dapper down.
Oh, listen.
Dapper down. I'll bring out my best suit to come out there and talk with y'all. I promise you. Like, hey, you know what? Tar Heel Nation, help us out. Get us on College Game Day, especially when they come to us. When they come to us, help us get on College Game Day, boy. Like, please. That would be a dream come true. We would love it. Wouldn't you love it? Boy, I would have a ball. But next subject, kind of on a, what'd you say, like a slightly sadder note, but want to pay, because we pay respects from one end to the other.
Yeah, and it is. This is kind of like, and we're gonna tone it. We're gonna bring it down a little serious real quick. Stuff like this, you don't want to like. You don't like hearing news like this when you have players, especially young players, that end up passing and all of and unnecessarily.
It's national.
Because just this in the last couple of weeks, we've had 3 players pass. We've had Todrick McGee out of I think it was Mississippi State,
Missouri
State.
Yeah, Missouri State.
Passed from an accidental self-inflicted gunshot wound, which is unfortunate. From what they said, it was. Like I said, it was. I don't know.
So far in the reports, they said it was just an accidental gunshot wound, and it was probable and accidental, self-inflicted. He was rushed to the hospital, but he was later on pronounced unalive. And then
he was a starting safety entering his 5th year, who actually earned all conference honors in 23. And like I said, you hate to see stuff like that happen. As most people have saw in the news, Kyron Lacey's passing due to his self-inflicted
unaliving.
And that whole situation was bad. It was just a whole sad situation. It's one of those things where you feel like you're not entirely sure what was going on in their head, but you can also definitely figure that there was a lot of pressure both internally and externally to his situation, because you probably had people close to him that were trying to support, but he wasn't trying to talk about it. You probably had people on the outside that did also try to support, but it was overshadowed by the negative.
That was going on with him, and it was a lot going on between both sides, as you said. A lot of pressure for that young man.
With the potential ending to the particular situation he was in, that didn't help anything. And like I said, I hate that came to what it came to. It's just that you can't talk much about it. And then last but certainly not least, Jeremiah Kelly, who is one of those that you really, really don't want to talk about.
He was with the Bearcats too.
He was with incoming freshman. Didn't even just finish spring practice. Didn't even get a chance to even see the field really. Incoming freshman for Cincinnati Bearcats. His situation was it was completely unexpected in his own home. They had the school hasn't released the cause yet. If they may never, and that's okay. Like that's not our place to know. Same thing with the family. It's not our place to ask them and force them to do anything like that. But the bottom line is prayers up to the families of these guys, to the neighborhoods that are affected by this, to the teams that are affected by this.
Absolutely.
Stuff like this going on is never great news. It's never something that you want to have to talk about, because these are young men, very young men. Because I said Jeremiah was 17.
And I'm looking at it, bro. Because
fresh out of high school.
Sorry, Jeremiah 17, and then you had Todrick. He was 22. I want to say 22 going on, and then Kieran Lacey, I think, was also around that same age, 21, 22.
Just Kieran Lacey was headed into the draft. Was definitely expected to be a high draft pick. Had a whole lot going on for him future wise. Then Todrick going into his last year eligibility.
He may have potentially made it to the draft. We don't know. But when it comes to stuff like this, what's sad, especially as former athletes as you and I both are, when we see guys younger than us, guys and gals who are athletes who have this potential, have this like great potential to do something with the talent they've been given, you want to see them succeed. I don't know an athlete. Granted, yes, we have friendly competition. Yes, we want to drive and beat the other. But when we recognize talent, when we recognize somebody who works as hard as we do ourselves, you still want them to succeed. You still want them to get there and achieve their dream, the same dream that you have, because especially if you know you're putting in the same work as them, you can sit there and say, you know what? I had the talent to make it. I may just not have had the opportunity, but I had the talent. I had the potential. And when young men and women lose their lives like this, it's sad it's always a constant reminder of how short life is, because I always have a harder time now. You're 33, I'm 31, 30, 31, whatever. And it's harder seeing people younger than us passing.
Mhm.
It's always harder seeing people younger than us passing because we don't anticipate that. We don't expect that. It's sad because you're like, dang, a 17-year-old, just why is his life cut short?
Yeah.
21, 22-year-old, everything going on. Why is their life? Why is that the time for them to end? And why is that? Especially because 17-year-old kid, he's happy, he's made it, he's a D1 college athlete. Because he probably had some people in high school tell him you ain't going D1. Kyron Lacey had some people tell him he wasn't going to be a NFL draft pick. Todrick McGee had some people tell him that he wasn't going to be all conference at any football school, that he was probably going to end up in jail somewhere.
And you got these guys, because when this happens, you got younger guys like this. It's like it puts it into perspective that ain't nothing promised. It's like it puts some stuff. It makes it hard on you, but it's also one of those things of, okay, it makes you wonder, okay, what could have been done differently? What could have been sought out differently? And what could we do as a community to make things easier for them to help, or make it to where we can prevent some of this stuff happening as often as it does? And it's like I said, it's a mystery that I don't think we'll ever really solve fully. And like I said, it sucks to see, just like you said, like us being like previous athletes at points in our lives. Anytime you got young guys that have so much potential, like these guys, like some of these guys do, and you see either their careers cut short, lives cut short, freedoms getting lost, things of that nature, it sucks to see, because you like, man, I hate that. Like you look at it, like I hate that happened to him. I really do, because it's like you were on the up, and next thing you know, it's done with. But bringing it to a little bit of a lighter point, though.
Oh yeah, I definitely want to talk about this one to a lighter point, and I know that was very sad. And again, we want to give our condolences. But on a lighter point, I don't know if any of you have heard, don't know if any of you have seen, but former Tar Heel wide receiver Tylee Craft, like he got his blessing to shine once again today, because a lot of you may remember him, but if you don't, he's a native of Sumter, South Carolina, which is actually where my family resides. Like that has a lot of ties to me personally. Tylee even played for Sumter High School, so I'll enjoy about this telling this story. And if y'all remember, he was a Tar Heel from 2020 to 2024. Unfortunately, right before the 22 season, he was diagnosed with a rare form of lung cancer and had to miss 2022 and 2023. And then the next year in 2024, he would go on to pass away on October 12th, just 11 days after his birthday, which was October 1st. However, he was just announced as the recipient and winner of the inaugural Eric Montross Public Service Award because of his efforts when he was diagnosed to increase awareness of the high rates of cancer in North Carolina, as well as the fact that there are low screening rates for cancer. And I'll be the first to admit, I have not checked or gone to the doctor to check myself for a cancer screening. And it's crazy considering, yes, I am 30 years old, and that's something in my mind. And I know for you, that's something we don't think about. That's something we don't anticipate that we'll ever get. It's like I'm good in my health. I'm not getting cancer, but that reminds you that cancer don't care about your age. It don't care about your what background you come from. It don't care about how much money you got. It don't care about your job, your career, none of that. If it wants you, it will get you.
And I will put a quick caveat in that. I'm gonna get in my work mode for a quick second. As somebody that does work for the hospital system, as somebody that also works as a part of the radiology department in the hospital system, yes, there is a such thing as yearly lung cancer screenings. They are CT scans. Most insurances will cover those yearly. They work the same way as like a woman going to get mammograms every year. As long as most of the time, as long as it's at least a year and a day from your previous one, most insurances will cover those at no cost extra to you out of pocket, except maybe if you have a copay, you may have a copay, but you will not have to pay for the extent of the screening. So just letting y'all know.
No, that's great information because, like I said, I didn't know that. I can't honestly tell you the last time I was checked or had a screening for cancer. But seeing him get his praise and win this award, even though it is posthumously, I don't care whether it's posthumous or not, seeing him get the shine and the recognition that he deserved and that his mother, September Kraft, was able to accept the award on his behalf. I'm glad, I'm thankful, and I know she's proud that her baby was recognized for his efforts in the wake of something that was tragically shortening his life. He took it upon himself to be like, even though I'm going to go, I'm going to leave a legacy to help remind others. That way more people can be saved, even though, because we all know the old adage, had you caught it early, you might have prevented it. And I'm pretty sure in his final days, he's like, man, I accept this. Maybe had I caught it earlier or had I gotten the screenings, I could have prevented this. But in his heart of hearts, he is now making young kids aware of this so that they don't go through what he went through and they don't have to worry about their life being cut short due to a rare lung cancer because they caught it early. So
because I actually do remember seeing one of his last few times on the field post diagnosis, actually, because they actually brought him out that year.
Yeah, they brought him out
first home game. They brought him out and let his. I think they actually let him suit up for a quick second.
He still had his jersey and was on the sideline and everything, and so
if I remember, I think they actually let him suit up. I think they like ran one play and then like they went and had him changed and all that after that. But yeah, no, it was a tough situation for North Carolina as a team and an organization. I know it was tough, beyond tough for his family, beyond tough, because that's sexy. Just like you said, cancer don't care, does not care.
Cancer don't care, man. But Tylee, we happy you got your praise, my boy. If you're looking down, you're watching this podcast, hope we entertaining you.
Congratulations,
Congratulations, man. I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy your time up there on the other side.
And so getting past somber pieces.
And now to a lighter note, because we want to end on. We always want to end. Listen, it's like a compliment sandwich. You got to go through the good, get through the bad, and then you get back to the good. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to end on a lighter note, some comedy for y'all.
Well, not just that. So there has been, I don't know if anybody else has seen this, in the last 24 hours, there's been proposals and approvals for new rules that will allow schools to pay players directly.
It got approved?
It got approved as of about 12 hours ago.
Oh, Lord.
A little over 12 hours ago. So I went, I had to go and look up some stuff. I had to go do my research on this to make sure I got some information. I don't have full everything that's going on because they said it's going to eliminate about 153 rules, somewhere between 150 and some extras to be changed. But what it was NFL was signing off on 9 proposals that would rewrite rule book of which would allow schools to start playing players. The settlement was a part of three antitrust lawsuits facing NFL and 5 conferences, aka ACC, Big 10, Big 12, Pac-12, and SEC. The base of the Power 5, Power 4, because Pac-12 barely exists anymore, but we don't care about that.
It's the Pac-2.
So basically, it includes the agreement to lift the ban on direct payments to athletes from schools and allow schools to opt in. So you do have schools that can opt out of this. You don't have to do this. And it was going to begin in August, with a share of $20.5 million per year with athletes that they could share with athletes per year. The Ivy League did opt out and are continuing to operate under the current structure.
Of course, the Ivy League opt out. The smartest guys in the country, of course, they would opt out.
And schools have till June 15th to decide whether or not they're going to opt into this new current structure or program or not. So, like I said, it eliminates about 153 rules that place those limits. However, this is what will kind of be implemented over time. One, scholarship limits are going to be removed, but they're being replaced with roster limits, which one in turns will expand the number of scholarships that they can use per year. Though it will reduce the amount of it will possibly reduce the amount of walk-ons and partial scholarship spots.
Oh, whoa. What you mean reducing the walk-ons? Hold up. I was a walk-on. Wait a minute.
Hold on. I say it's probably going to reduce the number of walk-ons and partial scholarship spots, because what it is you're now having a sport-specific roster limit. But because of this, it also will double the amount of scholarships for women's sports. So now, instead of just bringing a bunch of women on and you not having scholarships for them, now you will have a scholarship set amount for the amount of roster you have. So let's say you have 55 to a football roster, you now have more of a chance of having 55 scholarships to give out to that 55 roster.
I'm cool with it, and I'm definitely okay with the ladies getting paid too. I'm 100% behind it. However, as a former walk-on, god dang it.
It's not saying that you won't get walk-ons, period. It just said it's just taking the number. It said it just may take the number down.
Like, so don't kick me off the squad.
They're also going to be setting up a clearinghouse for all NIL deals from third parties and NILs worth more than $600 or more.
That's almost every NIL deal.
Hold on. So because of
the NCAA one was $600 in a video game.
Because of this, they're also going to be creating a technology platform that's going to help monitor the payments and open up a window that athletes can now report their third-party NIL deals. So the third party are all the NILs that are outside of what the school already has. So all the NIL partnerships they have,
like the ones that that Angel Reese and them had from Amazon, the one that Paige Becker's got from I think like Liberty Mutual, Financial Mutual.
Yeah, basically. Like so, let's say you went to Charleston. So you went to Charleston Southern, and you got one from the Chinese spot down the road. That's a third party.
If Fortune Garden sponsored me, I'd have been happy as hell, boy.
If Fortune Garden would have gave you an NIL deal, you would have had for more than $600. You'd have had to report the third party deal through this platform, is what they're saying. It also is going to create It's also going to establish an annual reporting requirements for schools to pay athletes, which is, like I said, which is part of that $20.5 million pool, and that's for the biggest schools beginning next year.
You know what this sounds like?
What's up?
It sounds like taxes for NILs. Because think about it, anything over $600, I got to report. That's a tax return, bro.
Yeah, it's the NFL. And you got to do it on annual reporting for the school because this is getting bought out. You got to report this so the NCAA can report this back on their taxes. Then,
not the NCAA trying to tax. They said we're gonna get our money one way or the other. We're gonna get these taxes.
And they're gonna have an enforcement body developed by the conferences to be as like defendants in this situation. But basically, all that enforcement body is going to be doing is just basically overseeing the rules and making sure people are doing what they're supposed to do with this money. And from what I can speculate is, I think it's mainly only affecting D1 athletes right now. The main reason why I think that is because some of the requirements they're doing for the athletes. So the athletes themselves are required to be enrolled full-time and meet D1 progress toward degree requirements to earn that, to do it toward their degrees to even receive the benefits. And you have to get it within your you can only receive these benefits within your 5-year eligibility period. So if you come in as a 6th-year athlete and you're no longer on your 5th-year eligibility, you're not going to get these benefits anymore. So
I'm okay with that, actually.
And then like I said, and then on top of that, you also have to show that you are working toward, that you are meeting requirements that are showing you are progressing towards getting your degree. If you aren't doing that, you won't receive this money.
I'm okay with that because that goes into what we were talking about last week of them putting kind of a limit on the people who were trying to abuse the NIL system and stay in college. So they're like 28, 29, 30 type of deal. So I feel like that's. I
yeah, no,
feel
you
as
come
though
in-
that's what that rule is trying to do. Like this
Yeah, so
whole
yeah.
situation is trying to mitigate that.
Yeah, so if you still have your fifth, if you're still going, you up until your 5th year, and make sure that you are getting your degree. And you have to be a full-time student. You can't come in as like a part-time, do none of that, because even then to play on the team anyway, you have to be a full-time student to even get on the team in the first place. You can't be a part-time student getting on these teams.
I will say this to all you part-timers and 6 years, 7 years who are trying about to get paid or whatnot. I got one thing for you.
Wah, wah, wah. Will you cut that out?
Because so basically, from what it sounds like is with all this going down, you'll have, and this is just like we were talking about last week. What I think this will enforce, and now it's not going to be a full-on everything's going to be written in stone and 100% done, cut dry by the time this is done with.
Absolutely not.
It's going to take a couple of years.
Somebody's
for
going to
them to
figure out
do
how to
it.
abuse the system, and then because
Yeah,
what's going to
and-
happen is they're going to go into this first year. Somebody, some D1 athlete or some part-timer, it's probably going to be a part-timer or a walk-on. It's going to figure out how to abuse the system and like work their way around it, or figure out a way not to report certain income, or how not to report certain income, and blah, blah, blah,
Right,
blah.
and
They're going to
and
have
I
to work
think
that out.
and I think that's the reason, and I think that's part of the reason why they're mainly focusing on Power 4, Power 5 groups of schools with the especially
if you
with
can
the
do it
biggest-
with-
with the biggest amount of
If you
money
can do
here.
it with the biggest schools, then you know how to do it with the smaller schools that don't have as much
Right.
money.
Basically, so they're doing it mainly for some of the biggest schools, and it's like, okay, we're going to work with this, see how this works out, and then if this works well, and we can start keeping more players in one place, because that's what I think this is going to force, is players staying in one spot for a little bit longer, because now you're getting paid directly by the school. You're not about to just
I
go
say
in
this.
and have to search for deals, because you can still get your agents to discuss NILs. They're still allowing you to do that, but you have to report your NIL.
I say what it's gonna do, it's going to make players stay who haven't transferred out after 2 years. So you're gonna see a lot of transfers be like freshmen and sophomores again,
Mm-hmm.
rather than like juniors and seniors who only got like 1 or 2 years of eligibility left, or they only got 1 year of eligibility, and then all of a sudden they find out, oh, my credits aren't going to transfer. I have to go like 2-3 years. Well, you're not going to get all that money for X,
Nope.
Y, and Z. So I think that's really what is going to push back. And essentially, if you don't transfer by your freshman and sophomore year, might as well just stick it out and get your NIL where you at, bro. And,
That's it.
And keep it pushing.
Get there and
Keep
get that
pushing
school
P.
money.
Get
Get that
school
scholarship
call
money
it
a
a day.
different way.
Hey.
Now, let's just go ahead and talk about this season opener. Was in North Carolina, going international.
Road trip.
Going international. So and for y'all that
Mr.
don't know,
Worldwide.
the TCU North Carolina game has been moved to Ireland.
We gone, bro. Listen, I kept that one. I don't care. I kept that one.
Either way.
We go.
I don't think
I
it
kept
worked,
that
but
one.
either way.
Hey, you don't have to think it worked. I thought it worked. That's all that matters. I own the soundboard. I think it works.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine, Mr. Audio Engineer. Anyway.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, but yeah, so game's gonna be in Ireland. The time has not been determined yet. However, I will say, after watching North Carolina and not North Carolina, but Georgia Tech and Florida State play out there last year, that stadium is gorgeous.
Oh, hell.
If they're playing in the same stadium, that stadium is gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. That stadium is. I'm going to tell you right now from experience, bro. A lot of those stadiums over in Europe, overseas, like Europe, Australia, like flipping Asia and things like that, and seeing them in person, them stadiums be A1. Them stadiums be A1. Now, the field themselves might not always be up to the greatest, depending on the field you're on, but they look great. They look great.
I mean, that's the same thing over here, though. Like, depending on where you at, the field might not be that great. Because remember, because when the Eagles in Green Bay went to Mexico?
Brazil? No, they went to Brazil. That field was bad.
That field was terrible
everywhere.
So,
but
like,
that stadium does look great. That
So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good. I think it's gonna be a good game. Both teams
Hey.
jet lag. Got to adjust
that
to the
jet lag
time
gonna
zone.
go crazy.
I
That
think it's
jet
gonna
lag
work.
gonna go crazy. Nah, because here's the thing. I encourage, as a gentleman who's been lucky and blessed to go overseas into Europe, I am so happy that these kids are gonna get the opportunity to do it. See, especially for those who've never even been outside of their state, like those from North Carolina and shoot, even from Texas who've never been outside the state. Getting that opportunity to go overseas, have a few days, experience the culture, get immersed in it. It's going to be fun. Now, granted, you're there for business. You're there to handle business. Handle business first, but also enjoy yourself, bro. Enjoy the sights. Enjoy it with your teammates. Make memories. Don't be a dick. Don't be an American dick, bro. And you know what I mean by that. Don't be rude. Don't be pompous. Don't be pretentious. Go over there, be respectful of their culture, and immerse yourself in it.
Well, they want my target takeaway for the day. Oh well. Anyway.
That was your takeaway? I'm sorry, bro. Like I had to say it. I had to say it because it's like it's a genuine thing. Don't go over there mad if they don't have something that you're accommodated to, like American item. Like, bro, you're in a different country. Expect different things and be okay with the different thing. Embrace it. That's what makes it cool. Like, don't be a dick, bro. Like, come on.
And now for the birthdays.
We got 2 upcoming by the time we hit next week. We got 2 this upcoming week. Actually, yeah, 2.
One this Saturday and one on Sunday. Wide receiver Chris Culliver,
Woo!
April 26th. And you got defensive back Marcus Allen. It's on the 27th.
Woo!
Happy birthday, you boys. Hope y'all have a good one. Stay safe out there.
Enjoy your time, boys. Enjoy your time. Have a good time.
Because once you get into the adulting world, especially if you don't hit the league, remember you got to find time for that. Then enjoy while you can. Now.
Hey, listen, I find time for my birthday. I don't care what you say, bro. Listen, if I'm ever gonna take a day off of work during the year, it is my birthday. It is my birthday. Yeah, it is my birthday. If I ain't taking a day off for no other day, I'm taking a day off for my birthday. And I saw somebody try to say, "Oh, you a grown man? What you taking your birthday off for?" To celebrate myself, dog. This job gonna be here.
To celebrate me.
To celebrate me. I don't care how old I am. I don't care if I am a grown man. I am going to celebrate my birthday.
I'm celebrating me being walking around on the outside for another year.
I've been blessed to walk another day on this earth. So you know what? I'ma celebrate it. How I celebrate it is my business. Don't be mad because you out here don't want to celebrate yourself.
Another day I could take off work for my birthdays. Another day I'm not in jail for acting a fool.
Facts.
Because I couldn't get off work. Anyway,
you ready now, for your takeaway of the week?
Oh, you go first. I got to figure out another one.
Hey, I'm sorry, bro. I didn't know.
You know now.
Yeah, I know it's 10:15 too. I know it's 10. All right. Oh man. Tar Heel takeaway of the week. Listen.
You don't know either, do you?
Hey, listen, I'm thinking, but I'm thinking. You know what? I got it. Here's what we're gonna do, man. You know what? Here it is. Stop. If you enjoy wrestling, enjoy wrestling. Stop. I need the rest of you who keep asking, oh, why do you enjoy wrestling? You know it's scripted. Yes, stupid. I know it's scripted. We all know it's scripted. It's still entertaining. You think Real Housewives of Atlanta isn't scripted? You think Survivor isn't scripted? The Bachelor isn't scripted? The MCU with Iron Man and all of them ain't scripted? It's entertainment. It's just sports entertainment. Stop sitting there trying to ruin the fun and trying to suck the fun out of everything else that we enjoy because it's scripted. It's fake. So is your eyelashes. So is your lock. Like, bro, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Leave the people who love pro wrestling alone. Let them enjoy it, because you know what they don't do? They don't come and get on you when you sitting there crying over Grey's Anatomy, talking about she died. She alive. She at home with her husband. That girl ain't dead. You know how many episodes of SVU I've watched, and I've never once been sitting there been like, oh dang, Benson really died. No, she didn't. She is living her life. She is cool. Dog. He said not the eyelashes. I'm saying, I'm sick of it. Leave pro wrestling fans alone, because they don't come at y'all for all y'all reality TV shows, all y'all movies, all your plays, all your books, all of that y'all go through. You don't see one pro wrestling fan coming up over you. Hey, you know it's fake, right? You know that ain't real, right? Shut up, please. Sick of it. Why are you typing this? Yo, audio listeners, if you're listening on audio like Anchor, Spotify, or whatever, this man was typing different like headlines at the bottom. I am, bro. I'm sick of it.
That man got called out one too many times.
Bro,
He's sick of it.
No, it's the community. I'm sick of it, dog. I am sick of it, because you don't hear, like, nobody has ever come up to me and told me, hey, yo, you know Star Wars ain't real, right? You know Dragon Ball Z ain't real, right? Like, nobody's ever come up to tell me that. But when I'm watching pro wrestling, you want to come up and sit there, hey, yo, you know it's scripted? No, duh. No, duh. Just like every other form of entertainment in this world is scripted, with the exception of sports themselves. And even then, those are low-key scripted, because let's be real, we've already seen refs charged with rigging games before, aka Tim Donaghy. So you can't sit there and say those games weren't scripted. Yeah, I'm standing on it. I hate this man. Bro. I'm mad. Like, I'm just, yeah, that's my Tar Heel takeaway of the week. If you're not a fan of wrestling, don't go sitting there trying to tell people it's fake, because they don't come at you like that, bro. Shut up and let us enjoy it.
I'm gonna let that man calm down for a minute, because he needs some water. He needs some water. Honestly, I forgot I was even gonna talk about. However, but no, my Tar Heel take of the week, to all y'all out there, especially all the adults, find something that you love to do, please, because I can tell you right now, everything else hates you, except your loved ones and your family. Life doesn't like you, and that's okay. But you know what you do like? Building that model ship in the backyard, because it calms you down for that moment. Going out and talking extra long about that one beer that nobody knows of and nobody else likes but you. But you know what? That's okay. It's your beer. Nobody needs to tell you nothing different. If you like to collect Legos, go collect Legos. Build that Harry Potter replica. Do what you got to do. Don't come out here and let nobody kill your whimsy. Yeah, you're an adult that watches Looney Tunes. So what? That's your business. And just because they hate and they mad at life, don't mean you have to be. Because at the end of the day, you enjoy what you enjoy. Point blank, period. Unless it's illegal and will have you hunted in the streets like a dog, don't do it. But everything else, I still watch Saturday cartoons. You are correct. If I woke up on time every morning, I'd be up with a bowl of cereal and the non-existent pajamas that I have, basically, aka my shorts and the t-shirt, watching Looney Tunes to this day. If WB was still a thing, I'd be watching it to this day. But you know what? It ain't. So you know what I do? I get on here and I talk about football, because I love me some football. I do. This is why I'm here. Yes, why y'all here. Y'all enjoy us talking about it. Ain't you like 46? No. You already said my age earlier. It's already a lie. You know this ain't right. Mister, I forgot what my age was. You talking about yourself? Probably. But we'll figure it out. You forgot I did this. I did this in middle school. I did newscasting. I'm ready. I can roll. This is the thing. I was built for this, son. Anyway, that's my Tar Heel. Take it away. Find what you love. Enjoy what you do, because life is hard, and we need things in life to kind of help get us through that. Be safe out there on top of that, because life is BSing right now. Life is life and hard, and none of us appreciate it at all. Even my dog that's sitting here 5 feet away from me in the way once I get up. Life is hard for her, and that's okay. I didn't have to write paragraphs. I wrote scripts. There was a difference.
Not your dog said his life is hard for BC. And BC, I know she was bug eyed looking at you.
Nah, she's just laying there. Anyway, that's all we got for tonight, y'all. Y'all stay safe out here in these streets. Once again, like, subscribe, join us every Tuesday, 9 o'clock. We here. We in there. This is what
always here, bro. And you know what, bro? It's on YouTube. It's on Spotify. If y'all have questions, comments, concerns, we will read them. We will talk about it. And honestly, it's been a blast, y'all. I know this is only episode 4, but we're having a blast building this up with y'all. I know he is. I know I am. I know the network's probably like, yo, we got comedic gold with these two fools on the network. They should have given us a platform.
No, they're like, yo, y'all got to cut the feed. Y'all running over in time. We got to go.
Oh, well, it's a good podcast. That's what it is. But with all that being said, peace. Much love to all of y'all. Take care. Later days. We'll see you next week.
See y'all next week.